everyone. Yes, I'm Andrea Brymer. I'm one of the newsreaders at STV, and I'm based up in Aberdeen. I am so delighted to be here with you again today. I'm totally bowled over, as I am every year, by the amount of talent, the inspirational stories, and the excitement I really feel for the future when I hear what you're all capable of. You've done incredibly well again this year, to everyone who's done YPI and all the teachers who've supported them, and I hope you're enjoying today's celebration of that. I am very proud to say this is my 8th YPI National Event I've spoken at, and just when I think these events can't get any better and the stories and the calibre of all the students can't get any better, well, you just do, and it's amazing, so real credit to you. I think it's incredibly important that we invest in the future of our young people and be ready to support them in all different ways. Back in 2011, STV launched their STV Children's Appeal along with the Hunter Foundation to tackle child poverty. And it still shocks me today that so many children still live in poverty in Scotland today. As Scotland's national broadcaster, STV decided to use their platform to raise awareness of this and to help promote change. We were delighted when the Wood Foundation came on board to pledge their support 2 years later, and since then, together with the Scottish Government and the incredible generosity of the Scottish people, we've raised an amazing £29 million, and every penny of that has gone to support and help support children, around 100,000 of them and their families all over Scotland. It's an amazing charity doing amazing work, so do look out for them. Now, also doing amazing work, as you heard earlier, are our two brilliant keynote speakers, Samia and Jordan. And so I'm going to get them back on stage now to hear a little bit more about what motivates them and to answer some of your questions. So please welcome back onto the stage Samia and Jordan. Now, I'm just little, so I'm probably going to have to need a ladder to climb up on these stools.
I'm going to need to do the same.
Right. Thanks so much to you both. I'm hoping everybody has really enjoyed your motivational talks. I mean, a question to both of you, I guess, individually. We've heard, some really inspirational stories here today. Jordan, who would you say that there was a person who motivated and inspired you throughout your journey? Or, I mean, you did talk a lot about being alone. I mean, did you have someone that you could grasp onto? And how important is that?
Oh, it's hugely important. I think, obviously, relationships are the foundation for everything, and creating safety and stability. For me, yes, I did eventually have someone, like I kind of touched on. I met my wife, and her and her family, they're just the most compassionate human beings I've ever met in my life. So having them as a touchstone and someone to turn to, people to turn to, really helped me on that journey. And then I've met, just through experience and getting involved with things, I've met so many amazing people that inspire me.
So it's really important then, obviously, to use your support network.
Yeah, hugely so, yeah. And obviously, being able to express and saying when something's not right, or checking out ideas, and that's hugely important, and it often offers a new way of looking at things and just helps you take steps forward.
So the same question to you. Did you have someone inspirational in your life?
There wasn't somebody in particular. I mean, I've touched upon, my family, and what they went through was an inspiration to me. And it wasn't until about a few months ago, my dad passed away, and it wasn't until he passed away that I actually realised that he was my inspiration all along. And one of the final things that he did, actually, it was the day before he died. He was all for the community. He was always involved in community projects. And one thing he was trying to do, which was very important to him, was in a kind of rural part of India where he grew up. And he really wanted to have a mosque and an educational centre there, because they actually had absolutely nothing. And it was the day before he died that he put forward the final payment to make sure that was complete. And it was when I found that out, it was one of his friends who told me, and I thought, that's been my inspiration all along. He's the one who's been with me. He's been the one who's been, by my side and, picking me up from school and everything. So I think for me, he's inspired me, but I think now I want to kind of create a lasting legacy and do what he was wanting to do.
Oh, Samia, I think he would have been incredibly proud of you. Jordan, through your social enterprise, what stories have really sort of moved you over the years?
I've looked at this question, I don't know for how long, because there's just so many of them. And I think probably an appropriate place to start would be Dylan, the programme you mentioned earlier that he was involved in. I mean, when Dylan began working with us, he just wasn't in a great place. He was homeless, there was loads of issues, and I mean, I say this a lot about the young people we work with. I try not to take we don't take responsibility for what they do or achieve. That's purely on them. What we do is create safety and stability. And we were able to actually create safety and stability for him to be able to grow and take advantage of the opportunities that came his way. And as I was saying to you earlier, he's a year into his apprenticeship since that programme. He earns money, he's living life, and he's in a great place. He still works with us as well, which is good.
How transformative is it then when you find someone and you can help them find their passion and then really not change just their own lives but other people's lives around them too?
Now, again, it comes back down to relationships, and I think creating that stability or being able to be able to accept relationships, it creates a ripple effect. So a lot of the young people that come to us, they come in crisis or have reoccurring trauma. And past traumatic experiences that have never been addressed or dealt with. So when they come to us and they're able to engage, because I suppose we take that different approach, it just, yeah, I forgot your question. the microphone started making a noise in my, like somewhere, and it totally threw me off there. But it's amazing watching transformation with all the young people and the people we work with.
I've got a question for you, and it's from Rory McClellan. Hi, Rory.
Thank you, Rory.
Who is from Dingwall Academy. He's asking how he could contribute to this cause. I'm not sure if he means financially, Rory, or whether just like with support. Yep. Is there any way people can get involved in your charity? Yeah,
I mean, you can reach out on social medias. The best way to help create change is just to get involved. Message us. Tweet us for today. Tweet, is that a thing? Or is it Instagram? Whatever, at us. I'm kind of showing my age. But yeah, just get involved. That's the best way to start, and then, yeah, things happen.
Okay, great. Samir, I'm going to turn to you. One of the sort of the founding sort of principles behind your social enterprise is the difference and the challenges between equality and inequity, which I think probably can be confused a lot, those two terms. Why do you think it's important to address both of these at such a young age?
I think it's important, mainly, I'll take inequality and inequity first. I mean, you can tackle inequality, yes, but it doesn't necessarily mean everyone has the same opportunities, and that's where the equity part in it comes in. You could come from a rich background and have all the opportunities there, but, that doesn't create any equity in terms of someone else from a poorer background. What we are doing is going to every school, and tackling every child, really, because, you can have some organisations who are maybe kind of going to schools and pick and choose kids, but what we're doing, it's life skills. We believe, everyone should have them, so that's why we go across the board. But for young people to get involved at a young age, I think that, if you start at a young age to volunteer, or if you start to think about your community, I think you're more likely to continue that, as you go on in life. And that's exactly what we're needing in society. We need people to become basically the leaders of tomorrow from now.
You talked amazingly about all the passion that you have and how you've used that to drive change. How do you encourage youngsters to have that inner belief in themselves and the confidence to know that what they believe can actually affect change and they can be those change makers?
Yeah, I think the main thing is, I always say to young people that the smallest actions can actually make the biggest amount of difference. And I'll try and provide an example of that. So I was in a school a few weeks ago, and it was a primary 7 class, and I was doing a session on asylum seekers and refugees, and I was telling them, what they go through and, how Scotland helps them, etc., etc. And part of that session, obviously, you're hearing about the tough things that they have to go through. They're living on £5 a day. And I went back to that same class 2 weeks later, and one of the wee boys in that class came up to me and he said, look, what you said to me really hit me so much that he's like, I went and told my parents about the session, and that wee boy now goes with his mum every weekend to the supermarket. They go and buy essential supplies and they go and drop it off to a refugee charity because he wanted to give something back. So that small action of me and going and spreading a wee bit of knowledge is actually going and change that wee boy in terms of what he does. So I think for any young person, you know, you might think what you're doing, oh, you know, what effect am I going to have? But even if you affect one child and, you know, there's one person who benefits, then it's worth it.
And that's exactly what YPI is all about, isn't it? Is getting people to think like that and to think outside their own little group of friends and their family and think about their community.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's what YPI has done so well, and that's where we can see all the young people here today, the ones that we've had on stage. I did not have that confidence at that age. You know, I mean, what they've obviously gone through this programme over the past few months, you know, it's done them a world of good, and I hope it's something that they realise and that they take forward as they go on.
Jordan, what would you say to young people who don't think they can make a difference?
I think you hit the nail on the head there. I mean, yeah, creating difference. That one person you made a difference for, they go on and they do something else that's made a difference for someone. They'll take that on, and it'll create difference for someone else beyond that. And I think just having that self-belief and trying. I think Sir Ian said at the start there that at the very start that one of the presenters laughed at our mistakes. Like, you'll learn the most from mistakes, so believe in yourself, try, make mistakes, and move on beyond them, so you can make a difference.
Simi, I'm going to end with you. What would you say, how important would you say it is that all these young people here today take this opportunity, they seize it, and they continue to move forward with it and make a difference, not just for their lives, but everybody else's?
I think it's incredibly important. I think Jordan's obviously said the same, you know, and both of our speeches, everything that we've done, you know, it's been for other people, and you guys have just got such a good opportunity there. You know, you've actually just got the. I mean, I don't want to use you know, your world is your oyster kind of quote. I know that's Dee's kind of inspirational talk, but it literally is, because you can do anything. You know, you guys have got the skills there to do anything. And one thing I will say, it's easy to say you don't have the time to do anything for anyone else. You know, I don't have the time to go and do this, or it could be I don't have the time to go and clean my room, and I still use that excuse myself. But you know, you've always got the time, I think, to help the community, and it could be in the smallest way possible. So, you know, I hope all the young people today, from what they've heard from ourselves and from everyone else, actually take that on board and, you know, continue to make change, because, like Sir Ian said, this is the generation who will do it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming here today and talking to all of us and taking time out of your busy, busy diaries. I hope everybody's been able to come and see your bus, have they?
Yes.
Well, not maybe everybody,
Well,
but
maybe everybody,
it's not that big a bus.
I think it's still there as well.
Great. Well, thank you very, very much, and thanks to you all for having us, and well done again for all your achievements so far. Thank you.